Today, we are in Dr. P.C. Verma Economist YouTube class. This YouTube class is for all those students who are aspiring for UPSC, BPSC, RBI, IES examinations, where they opted for economics. On the other hand, this class will help you for a general economy, economy. That is one of the section in all examinations under GS and general knowledge. So economics is most important subject, whether you take PT, whether you appear in PT or you are under MENS. And finally, when you interview, SS interview, in interview, you will be asked such type of questions related to economy, because officers, UPSC, BPSC or any other officers have to command under economy. So under economy, what are the position of different types of taxes? What are its meaning? For example, Pigouvian tax. What is Pigouvian tax? Pigouvian tax related to environmental pollution. Pigouvian tax is one of the important method of welfare to be obtained in the industrialized economy. Another is green tax. Green tax is also a tax which protects our environment, which are being damaged by big industrial houses. Their residuals, chemicals are thrown into the river, thrown into different ponds, and that creates great problem for those who use that water. So, Pigouvian tax, green tax, these are the questions you will ask in any interview. It is needless to mention that I have been teaching for the last 50 years, and I topped in BPSC lecturer selection, and I was topper, and therefore I was given opportunity to work in Patna University, Patna College. At that time also my teacher said, those things which I tell you, communicate to you, plus my own experiences of 50 years teaching the students their problems and dealing with their problems related to economy for GS or economics in general. We all know that the microeconomics and macroeconomics, these are the two important parts. But now the present world, it is found that the microeconomics and macroeconomics both are not a separate branch of economics. Rather, all events will be at microeconomics, and that will be studied at the base level, and thereafter you will reach to the macroeconomic policy, monetary policy or fiscal policy or any environmental policy. So today we are relating Pigouvian tax and green tax to what event? That event is externality. Now question arises that what is externality? Externality is a consequence of an industrial or commercial activity which affects other parties without this being reflected in the market prices. And what is the example? Example is pollination. You know that pollination of surrounding crops by bees kept for honey. You might have seen bee farming. It is very much now a popular in Bihar also, and in Jammu and Kashmir area. Once our Prime Minister visited there, then a lady who explained her fortune that she was in a great distress economically and mentally after being graduations. Then he was suggested to do bees farming, and that bees farming will uh, will lead to further good effect upon pollinations and all surrounding crops. Pollinations will increase crop production, and that will also convert into successful business of bee farming in Jammu Kashmir, in Bihar, in other uh, states like Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, everywhere where there is uh, cultivation, farming, and bees, bees kept for honey. This will lead to the pollination, and this will increase productivity. But there is no charge for that. No charge for that. So a cost or benefit caused by an economic actor that is not suffered or enjoyed by the same actor. There is no cost. Of course, it helps. In economics, an externality or external cost is an indirect cost or benefit to an uninvolved third party that arises as an effect of another party activity. So, externality is a consequence of an industrial and commercial activity which affects other parties, third party, without this being reflected in the market prices. There is no cost for that. So that is not added to the market price. And the best example of externality, good externality, positive externality is pollination. And pollination of surrounding crops by the bee kept for honey. This is positive externality, that if there are bee farming, it will lead to more production of lychee, more production of mango, more production of other uh, uh, fruits like pomegranate, guava, because every fruits have the good relationship with the bee and their process of pollination of surrounding crops. It is said that in economics, externality or external cost, it is an indirect cost or benefit to which uninvolved third party that arises an effect of another party's activity. And there is a positive externality and negative externality. Positive externality, I have just told you that the pollination of crops by bees kept for honey. And what is negative? Negative externality, that is the environmental pollution created by motor, car, tractor. This is environmental pollution. And this will directly affect the people surrounding the area. People living beside the national highway. Large number of truck buses are running over that expressway. And the surrounding area is filled up by monocarbon oxides. This will lead to heart disease. This will lead to disease of different types to the people residing besides the highway. The smokes of large industrial houses that affects the whole area. In the night, they open the button and then all gases are thrown in the air in the night. In medicine industry, in the night, in the area, very bad smell air is thrown into the area. And all people living in the area are hard hit. Their health, the condition of senior citizens are very, very disturbing due to this factor. So this is called negative externality. If your house is near the zoo and park, besides that, you will feel in the morning fresh air. For that, you are not paying anything. That is positive externality. So whether you are getting positive externality or negative externality, what should be done? In positive externality, if you are living near the park, large park, open land, green grasses, tree, and there your flat is there, then you will be benefited. For that, you are not paying anything to the park owner. So this is called externality, that is positive externality. What is negative externality? Negative externality is air pollution due to the motor vehicle car running on the roads and throwing monocarbon openly. And those who are living there, their condition, health condition deteriorates day by day. Likewise, water pollution. Water pollution is created by rubber industry, medicine industry. They throw poisonous water to the river and fishes died suddenly. People are not knowing at that time what is the reason. Later on, they found that as soon as water from the industries are thrown into the river, that water is full of dangerous, poisonous material in it. It leads to death of large number of fishes. If people take bath in that river, they will have several types of diseases. They may die. Then people thought that such type of water pollution created by big industry must be penalized. And I have taught about the Marshall. Marshall was a great economist. He has invented externality in 1890 and achieved broader attention in the work of economist of Arthur Pigou in 1920. Cambridge University head of department was Alfred Marshall, and Patna University economics head of department myself, Dr. P.C. Verma. I always think that Alfred Marshall was head of department of Cambridge University, and Patna University is also called as an example of Oxford and Cambridge in India because of the quality of the students and teachers there. large number of IAS from Patna University every year. So quality. So what I found that Marshall in 1890, in his Principles of Economics, he has given most important uh, state to the concept of externality. I was surprised to read his biography written by John Maynard Keynes. He worked 12 hours. His reading hours 6 hours, teaching hours 6 hours, 12 hours. Even it was detected that there is a stone in his kidney, but he never shut from the work of reading, writing. And his book has become magnum opus. Whole world Principles of Economics was taught. And at that time, there was no book on economics. It was the complete book. Each and every topic was there. And thereafter, Alfred Marshall remained head of Department of Cambridge University Economics till 1924. And therefore, after Marshall, Arthur Cecil Pigou, A.C. Pigou, Arthur Cecil Pigou became head of Department of Cambridge University. Mr. John Maynard Keynes was also their professor. J.R. Hicks was also professor sometime in Cambridge. Later, he joined London School of Economics. So in 1920, Arthur Pigou was professor in Cambridge under Alfred Marshall. He discussed in detail what was stated by Marshall in his book Externality. A.C. Pigou has taken externality as most important item for welfare economics. And therefore, after Marshall, Arthur Pigou, A.C. Pigou became great welfare economist. He said that those who are creating negative externality, damaging the life, heart, and people health, they must be punished. And therefore, he suggested Pigouvian tax. This punishment tax to the polluters. He said that polluters must pay. Polluter must pay. And therefore, this tax for polluters was termed as Pigouvian tax, which we are to read today. Pigouvian tax. In an interview, if they ask you, what is Pigouvian tax? Have you heard it? Yes, sir. It was written in 1920 by Arthur Cecil Pigou about the externality, and especially negative externality must be punished. Those car owner, those truck owner must be punished for creating pollution and not maintaining their engine properly. And therefore, nowadays you see that pollution control is in Bihar also on road. You will surprise checking and they fine and say that you must check your pollution level every time before driving your car in a week or in a month. You must check it up because it is a question of social welfare. So you are getting private benefit and creating social problem. So you have to pay tax for that, and that is Pigouvian tax. What is green tax? Green tax is related to a collective efforts of all industrialists to pollute the environment, to pollute the water, to pollute the river water. In that case, you will impose green tax, and that tax amount will be spent on water treatment plant before water putting into the river. Plantations in a large number by that green tax revenue that will be spent on greenery. So economics is a science. In Andhra Pradesh, BSc Economics honors, MSc Economics. In Tamil Nadu, BSc, MSc in Economics. In Kolkata, BSc, MSc Economics. In foreign country, economics is a science. Nobel Prize is given to economics. And the term is Nobel Prize for Economic Sciences. You see the term in Nobel Prize, economic sciences. So economy is a science. And therefore, those who are reading economics, they are must aware of many things which are found in day-to-day life. And therefore, in general knowledge, GS, social studies, uh, general studies, you will find out that at least 20% questions are from economics. So my intention is to teach economics to student, and along with that, I try to develop those terms which are very, very frequently asked in interview that you must be clear, getting the final round. Failure in interview is dangerous, breaking heart. And therefore, you always try, as you take large number of times for PT, then means side by side every day, you take one or two word yourself or one or two friends and discuss. Speak on that. Who has invented? Why it was invented? What was the remedial measure for that? So externality, if it is negative externality like water pollution, sound pollution, these are related to the physical damage to the people. Even death can be occurred if the water pollution is not prevented. And large industries, big industries, shoes industries, cotton, uh, textile industry. I have uploaded one topic, water scarcity in India. You read it, you will find out that producing one shirt, how many gallons of water are used. Great example. And worldwide it is being read. So we now extend this pollination of surrounding crops. Pollination of surrounding crops by bees kept for honey, which is called positive externality. In economics, and externality or external cost. External cost is an indirect cost, is an indirect cost. Indirect cost or benefit. To an uninvolved third party. Uninvolved third party. Third party. That arises as an effect, as an effect, as an effect of another party, effect of arises an effect of another party's activity. externality externality can be considered can be considered considered can be considered as unpriced un unpriced unpriced component unpriced components that are involved that are involved in either consumer or producer or producer market transaction. Air pollution, water water pollution, and sound pollution are examples of negative externality. Green park and grasses and trees, pollination, pollination of surrounding crops by bees kept for honey, kept for honey are examples of positive examples of positive externality. Alfred Marshall, Alfred Marshall had developed the concept of the concept of Alfred Marshall had developed the concept of externality in 1890 and the concept of externality achieved broader attention broader broader attention in the work in the work of economist, work of attention in the work of economist, Arthur C. Pigou in 1920 in his welfare economics. In his welfare economics. The prototypical example of a negative externality is environmental pollution, is environmental pollution. AC Pigou argued that a tax equal to the equal to the equal to the marginal damage or marginal external or marginal external cost, latter called a Pigouvian tax on negative negative externality externalities would be used would be used would be used to reduce their incidence and efficient level. Such collective solution such collective solution is needed some collective solution is needed such as a court system, court system to allow parties parties affected allow parties affected by pollution by pollution to be compensated, to be compen- compensated. Government interference, government interference, banning or this discouraging pollution or economic economic incentive, economic incentives such as green tax, compensated government interference, banning or discouraging pollution or economic incentives such as green taxes are in practice in different are in practice in different countries. Different countries of the world. PPP, PPP, polluters, polluters pay. Polluters pay principle must be implemented to polluters pay principle must be implemented to save the people, save the people from the Thus, we come to the conclusion that Alfred Marshall invented the concept of externality, and after Alfred Marshall, A.C. Pigou has developed a proper theory, and in his book Welfare Economics, he has given a very important place to this uh, pollution issue and marginal uh, sacrifice and marginal benefit, marginal private benefit, marginal private sacrifice, public, marginal public benefit and marginal public sacrifice. Such type of things are analyzed in uh, principles of welfare economics. And in the world, like in USA and European nations, PPP, in any interview, if you go there, they will ask you, what is PPP? Then generally, people will say, what? People will say, what? PPP, public-private partnership. Most of the interview I have seen, the student will say public-private partnership because they read it. Our Minister Gadkari has popularized PPP, public-private partnership. And other thing, those who are from economics, main economics, general economics, they have studied micro and macro. They will say PPP means purchasing power parity. that is related to exchange theory, purchasing power parity theory of exchange rate, PPP. And those who have read environmental economics, if you ask them what is PPP, they will say polluters pay principle. If you pollute, you have to pay. And this leads to the adjustment in the economy, that the private interest and social interest both must not collide. Private interest is there, but for that you have to pay. You use car, you are owner of industry creating a smokes and polluting environment. You are owner of leather industry, shoes making, shoes. You go to the Adidas or Nike, you will find out 13,000, 15,000, 40,000, 80,000 price of shoes. I said that at least I should see its quality. And before buying it, they will give you that you wear it and test it. So I had opportunity to test different variety of high level of shoes, walker. But if you read my article in this YouTube channel, Dr. P.C. Verma, economist, water scarcity in India. In that, I have given an example. How much water is consumed by that leather industry. And all good water from the land, below the land, they get it, pumping set. And then polluted water, they send it to the river or to the drainage, leading to the several type of disease. One who take bath in that river, if they use the water. In India, especially in Bihar, UP, what I see that in Chhat Puja, there is one day when all persons go to the river Ganges and take water in car, in motorcycle, in drum, and they come and everything is cooked from this water. If the water is polluted, it will lead to several type of problem in future. In fact, it is once in a year, Chhat Puja is celebrated by that family. Therefore, there is no wide effect. But those who are living beside the river side, they are every day they go to the river and get water and use it. They feel that Ganges water means water of the God directly. But the pollution, water pollution is there. So in developed country, there is a rule, PPP, polluters pay principle, that must be implemented to save the people from environmental pollution. In Bihar also, everywhere, car from your backside, a smoke pipe, they will put a rod into it and calculate that what is the level of pollution of your car smoke. If it is more than that, then you will be penalized, fined, and you have to keep checking of your car through the different centers for pollution removal. So now I am in a position to say you that demand and supply is the main factor of price determination. But demand and supply is for private buyer, private seller. There is no interference of government in that. But if there is pollution, then government will enter into the market, imposing PPP, imposing green tax, imposing Pigouvian tax, And all these will be added into the cost. Now, what will happen? Private cost is low and people feel pollution. If government imposes tax, private cost will be low, but social cost supply function, including this PPP and green tax and Pigouvian tax, supply curve, supply cost will increase. This will either increase price, then supply, then demand will decrease. So I'm showing you in a diagram that what should be the ideal equilibrium. Everywhere there is a ideal equilibrium and actual equilibrium. Actual equilibrium is that equilibrium where is no payment of PPP, no payment of pollution tax, no payment of Pigouvian tax. You pollute river, you pollute air, you pollute sound, and nothing is to be done for that. Even then demand supply intersection will give you equilibrium price. That equilibrium price is actual equilibrium price. But when tax is imposed, then demand side will be as it is demand curve, but supply curve will shift leftward because leftward means higher cost, rightward means lower cost. So if it goes leftward, then uh, social price will be greater than the private price. But you have to bear it for the sake of better environment.
In this diagram, we find out
that PS, Pigouvian tax price plus Pigouvian tax, and PP is private price where there is no tax. So this should be our motive, PPS, PS, and in that case, quantity will decrease. So number of shoes will decrease. That will also less effect upon the creation of pollution. Thus, we find that in case of green tax, supply curve will be OS. Supply curve will be OS, that is 45-degree line. And demand curve will be downward sloping a straight line. What we find out, 2 points. E is a private price and F is a social cost price. Then social demand and supply curve intersection at F, that is called PS, and private demand and intersection by supply curve at point E gives private price. So always private price is less and social price will be greater, because we take all the remedial measure to correct the pollutions. You are allowed to produce sewage. You are allowed to drive car. You are allowed to drive a truck and buses regularly on expressways at a speed as you like. But pollutions created by that must be controlled, contained by government expenditure, by plantation of trees, by putting oxygen in the area if it is required, and always try to examine whether water putting into the river was passed through the that required level of cleanness of the water, pollutions, removal of the pollutions from the water. Only then it can be thrown into the river. That life of fish will be saved. People will not be affected by different diseases. There will not be heart problem. There will not be sound problem. Will not be mental tension. If you sit in a bus stand for a longer hours, you will find out your mind is full of a strain. You want a relief. You will try to go to the hotel, which is far from that site, so that you can sleep, sound sleep. And every day of life is important. Therefore, government must come forward for Pigouvian tax and green tax, and there is a bit increase in the price through nefarious design by the producers, distributors. There is a price hike suddenly during excess demand in the market. You found out, you can find it in practical life also. Price of fruits increases very high during the period of religion, Muharram, Roja. Surprise that good quality of fruits are in the market, but price is very high. During Chhat Puja, you will find out the price of pumpkin, kaddu, price of other fruits, very high. And a particular day, price of milk is also very high. And the river, near the river selling milk at a very high cost. So they can do it. Likewise, government, in the interest of the people in large, must charge green tax and Pigouvian tax and put the sound pollution under control, put the water pollution under control. There must be treatment of the plant. There must be checking of the water level from one point to the another point and finding out the which portion is having more pollution, and the desired things can be done by that amount of money which is created through the green tax or Pigouvian tax. Of course, PPP is less because you are polluting the and without paying any price and getting your supernormal profit in the market from the consumer, and consumer will be facing different type of problems. So PPP will be less, and PS, price of social cost, with social cost, will be higher. That high price is the amount of tax which will be spent on the welfare of the people by controlling pollutions. So in any interview, you will be free and frank to talk about the Pigouvian tax, green tax, externality, positive externality, negative externality, pollutions, negative externality, sound pollution, water pollution, environmental pollution, air pollution. All these are day-to-day problem. And in discussion, you can speak in a regular way, in a normal way, without having tension on your face in any interview board, then you will certainly get the thing which you want. Mind it, I've been teaching for the last 50 years, and I was topper in the BPSC interview board. They asked many questions, and I calm and quiet replied all questions, whatever been asked. That does not mean that I was very intelligent. My intelligent quotient will be less than you and your friends at that time. Because there was no radio. Once I had purchased a radio, police came and asked me, show license. For what? For this transistor, radio, for TV. You will surprise that I had gone to the Makipur post office and deposit money as a tax for radio, tax for transistor, paid for that. That was the regime when there were 39 slabs of income tax. Today there are only 4 slabs, 39 slabs. It means 93% tax will be the highest and last tax. No matter how many people are there in 93% tax. But the showing that eating rich means serving poor. That is not the truth. Truth was the defective system of taxation. And after Laffer's thesis, Laffer's curve, tax rate was made only 4 steps, and lowering the tax rate, more tax return, and India implemented it in 1991. And there was tax buoyancy, enough supply of tax money. Today, GST, tax buoyancy. So it is necessary to change old concept and accept the new concept which is based upon research and development. That's all. Thank you. Lastly, like it, subscribe it, and one line, comment it. Sir, I like your teaching. This gives personal interest. Every man likes liking, and therefore you must see in every YouTuber they say like it. I never say so, but recently someone said me that you also tell, because this is young generation and there is generation gap. I am 72 years old and you are 22 years old. But this gap can be bridged up by a single line. Sir, I like it. Sir, please explain this thing again. Anything which you feel in a good way, you can write it. Thank you very much. अगर